I want to talk about why you're a leader, why everybody is a leader. Why, Bodhi? It's my son. He's hanging out here. Why are you a leader? How are you a leader? And everybody is a leader. You have the opportunity to lead people all the time, no matter who you are, what you do for work, where you're at in your life. If you're a 10-year-old kid in school, or if you are a line cook at a McDonald's, or if you are a middle manager for a large corporation, you have leadership inside of you. And there's a few reasons why that is and what you can do. Because truthfully, though you may be a leader, everybody is in some way, that the level of leadership for every person is different. And there's roles that go with this. There's certain identities that go with this. There's also beliefs about yourself that go with this. So here's an example. Let's say you do work for somebody. You're in a job where there's a big structure of a big hierarchy of management and leadership roles. And you're at the bottom. You're at the bottom of this leadership role. And your supervisor, your manager, is who you consider the leader in this organization. And you look up to that, and that's your line of communication stems from that, right? And let's say this manager, this supervisor says something that you don't agree with, says something that is negligible to yours and your fellow employees' life, right? Your goals, your beliefs, tries to get you to do something that you don't want to do. Work overtime for less pay or for no pay. Expected to do parts of a job that aren't yours, right? And this you feel attacked. You feel, how dare he? Why would he say something like that? Or in a less extreme example, your supervisor, manager has an idea, a way, a process of doing something, and you think there's a better way. You think that what they're doing is going to cost a lot of resources, time, energy, money, whatever it is. And so you disagree. And yet the leader, the supervisor says, well, we're going to do this anyway because I said so, because this is what came down from the top, because it's what I think is right. And yeah, that sometimes is true. They may have a lot more knowledge than you do. So they're making a decision based on a lot more potential variables, whereas you only know what you're from your perspective, right? And at the same time, you have your perspective, and your perspective is valuable. And so he should be respecting that, right? There's a split here. He may be right. He also, you also may be right. And so you, as the employee, as the bottom level guy, the person who's taking on the consequences of this action, right? The loss of time, the unproductivity. If you are accepting of that, and let's say you take it personally, you get angry, your leadership is going to spread to the rest of the culture of the company, the rest of your team, your employees. In fact, everyone's is. Their reaction is going to spread. And now you, if you know this, if you know, and you know you're a leader, you know you have influence over people, your reaction can change the outcome. So you could respond differently to your supervisor. You could go with the flow and encourage your fellow employees to do what's expected of them. You could take charge. You could help them feel more comfortable. You could change the environment, right? The feeling of the environment. And that could change the supervisor's mind. You could challenge it. You could take ownership. In truth, every corporation, every company, small, whether it's one person, 2 people, 10 people, millions working for this one company, every person has a leadership role and the opportunity to make a difference. Because most of the time, businesses, companies, teams want to improve. They want to do better. And it's very rare that you will be turned away for having a new idea. In fact, as long as you know how to carefully approach a situation, a conflict situation, when you're below the chain of command, below the line of communication, and you're reaching up, you're a general employee trying to talk to an executive. Your voice can be heard if you use the right voice, if you know how to take ownership and how to lead. You can become a person of influence. You're not sworn to this identity that you are in. Most organizations have an ability to level you up, right? And it depends on you. You have to take the initiative, the ownership, step up, step into a new identity, become a person of influence, become a person who can take charge, who can lead. You have the ability inside of you, and now it's a matter of actually taking that action. So here's an action you can take. What I want you to try is to note your relationship to all the problems in your life, all the things you experience. Your boss doesn't like you, or your boss makes you work too much. Your coworkers are a pain in your ass. You don't get along with your mom. Your health is declining. You're overweight. All of these problems in your life. What is your relationship to these? Because everything is at least 50-50, right? 50% on them, 50% on you. What's the 50% that's on you? What do you control? What can you do about it? Write these things down, because when you look at that and you say, oh shit, well, I guess this is my fault. What if I change this? What if you weighed the 50-50 more in your favor and it was 100% your fault? What would you do about it? Or 100% your responsibility to change. No one else is going to come to you and say, hey, I want to help you change, unless they're trying to sell you something, in which case buy it, because get the help you need. What's going to end up happening though is people are going to say, well, I need to work on myself, because if you feel like crap, they also feel like crap. That's a thing. That's a fact. You can look that up in your own dictionary, right? Look back on your own life, see how they feel. The people who are tormenting you in your life, I bet they go home and they feel run down and they feel exhausted and their health is declining and they're not leveling up. So take action on these things, take ownership, find the leadership inside of you, that ability to control your outcomes, and then take the steps forward.